Youth sports in America are at a crossroads, and I'm here to help lead the conversation forward. I'm Greg Olson. Each week, we're sitting down with top athletes, coaches, and more to talk about what's working, what's broken, and what's next. Welcome to You Think.
All right, before we jump into anything of importance, I'm super pumped today. Guys from Throwback, Jerry, Matt, dude, this is going to be a blast. I don't even care about sports right now. Jerry, you mentioned my humble brag of my Emmys that behind me. You start off, you go, wait a minute, is that an Emmy? And I actually said there's two. You never won an Emmy? How is that even possible?
Well, personally, definitely not. In fact, of all the cast members of Entourage, myself and Adrian Grenier, who played Vince, were the only ones who didn't get nominated for an Emmy.
Everybody How is that possible?
And then famously, I think we got, of our 8 seasons, we were nominated for 7 years of Emmys for Best Comedy, and we lost every 7 straight years.
Who are you losing to?
Okay, I don't know if I have it in exact order. Early on, it was like Desperate Housewives.
Oh.
Then it was Ugly Betty. But then the 4 years in a row, we got caught in The Office run. But Piven won 3 in a row, who played Ari. He won 3 Emmys in a row. So that
Let me tell you what. I can remember vivid moments of my life being shaped from binge watching Entourage. Like, remember back when it would come on like the DVD sets?
Oh yeah, box
Oh,
sets.
yeah.
You know, and like the hardest part was like you were done with the disc and you like who's gonna get up and like change the next disc, you know, that was when our lives were so hard we actually had to get up to go to the next episode. Dude, you guys that show was brilliance, like embodied. Every character, the dialogue, that show is as well done and as like impactful in my life as any show that I've ever watched.
Jerry, before you answer that, Greg, the best part about doing this pod is exactly what you're saying. Is I've gotten probably 100 great Entourage stories from Jerry in the last year and a half. It's been absolutely the best.
It's now talk about humble brags, Jerry. This guy's got a fucking Heisman Trophy behind him.
As they pointed out on PMT, sitting on a
Dude, I
on
did-
a
I
box,
did PMT.
box jump.
It's on like a table you would eat like a TV dinner on.
No, it's actually on a jump box. It's actually
A
on
what?
a jump box. Yeah, like a box.
Oh,
like a workout
like a
box.
plyo box?
Like a plyo box. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
I could here. Let me see. Watch.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
that's
talk
like
about
maybe the
humble.
biggest.
See? Look,
that's
I got
the biggest.
some-
That's
I got
the
some
biggest
weights.
flex.
Yeah,
What
dude,
a
that's all,
flex.
Greg. That's all I got, dude. That's all I got.
That all you have is a Heisman. That's all I got.
At Big Noon, we've been nominated for like a couple sports Emmys, and which has been great, but I mean, we lose to the TNT crew every year. So
Yeah,
I don't think we'll ever win one.
I want to get out to one of your Big Noons. I think you
Dude.
guys do such a good job. It's black. I think there's
would love to have you,
something
man.
super magical about being like in the wild. Like
Yeah.
I like to say, like the studios are kind of they're great, and our NFL studio guys are obviously as good as it gets. But like, there's
best.
something about being on site.
I did studio for like 10 years, right? The original, which was a blast because that's how I learned and being on a Saturday all day. There's a lot, so it was great to learn from that. But we were just like, man, it'd be great if we could go on the road. It'd be great if we can go on the road and experience that. And you call games, so you get a chance. You get a feel. There's nothing like the energy of fans, especially in college. You know, I do think there's just a difference between college and NFL. Like we were just at BYU last week, and it was bananas. And like when you're in there, you just feel like I got goosebumps just thinking about it because you're just like it just makes the show better. It's just the energy of the show, and you can play off the fans, and you can talk smack. And dude, we had Gronk out there one show last year, man, or 2 years ago. He came to Colorado, and he lit it up, as you could imagine, dude. It was hysterical,
sure.
dude. He was like, I want to
sure
go out
he
again.
did fine.
You got to come out there, dude. You got a busy
I know,
schedule, though. You're on the road every week.
I'm traveling. My Saturdays and I'm on planes, trains, and automobiles on Saturdays traveling to get into our game. Jerry, have you ever been out there on set to do any of it?
I haven't yet. We've talked about it a bunch, and I think that's kind of the next step for us now that we really got the workflow of the Throwbacks podcast going, and I think that's the next step. But hearing, like, to kind of land the plane here, too, even hearing, like, what Matt has to do to get back home for his younger kids, and even always talks about how he missed so much of his older son Cole's games. Like, it really, it's a blessing and a curse. And so, of course, it's a blessing because you have a great job and it's something you love. But, being away from the kids so much must be really hard, especially when they start playing sports.
Yeah. Yeah, and Cole's an absolute stud. It's been fun to kind of watch him grow from like the little boy we met a million years ago, and now where's he going? SMU?
SMU. He turns he turns 19 this week. SMU in January, so graduating early. So we're going through all of that, the transcripts and all that. I got a couple games left in the season, playoffs, and then dude, we're sending him off to college,
That's
which is it's crazy, dude. It's been the greatest thing, and I know you've had such an impact with obviously the Youth Inc. and youth sports and all that, and you and I have talked about it a little bit, just coaching kids. Like it's been so like just I'm a very proud dad to watch him go to college because it's not easy, man. There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of hard times. There's a lot of learning times, and we're finally sort of at the finish line, so to speak, right? We just got a little bit more to push him over. But I'm excited for his future, dude. He's worked hard. He's got all the talent in the world. He can do it. And I'm hoping he just enjoys it, man, and realizes the opportunity, right, that he has. But it's been fun, dude. It's just crazy, man. It's like Jerry said, just missing the games on Friday absolutely just breaks my heart, dude. It kills me. But I stream it. I watch it. I'm yelling through the TV screen every Friday.
I get it, man. It's the hardest thing. All right, well, that's the perfect segue. Again, appreciate you guys joining me. Our show here, You Think, we love having conversations with as many different people as we can. Of course, our lane, our world is youth sports, the parenting, the crazy stories, the really good things that are coming out of sports. And, just having the opportunity to just talk to people that are coming at it from all different perspectives. So with that being said, I want to hear your guys' stories. My favorite thing, you talk to Olympians, Super Bowl winners, famous actors. I mean, we've had multiple different, all sorts of different people on. But everybody has their big youth sports moment. And it's not winning the Heisman Trophy. It's not playing Super Bowls. It's dude, at 12U Pop Warner with the Mustangs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I want to hear I'm Jerry, I'm going to start with you because we've heard Matt's stories. We know what he's done.
I actually have a great story for you after this that you've never heard, Greg.
Jerry, I want to hear, give me your best, growing up as a kid. Give me your best youth sports memory.
So I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, late 80s, early 90s. So single mom raised my brother and I. And my brother has never played nor really watched a sport he didn't have money on in his life. He still thinks Peyton Manning's in the league. My mom was a huge Yankee fan. My mom always watched sports, so I get all the sports stuff from my mom. I feel like I subbed in for my brother. He walked off the Little League field when he was 9 and I was 7, and I took his spot, and I never let it go. So I'm just a sports junkie. My favorite memory early, we were one game away from going to Williamsport in the Little League World Series. And it was, I'll never forget this. Talk about coaching, Greg, and I want to hear your thoughts. The final tournament to get there was in Connecticut because it's the tri-state area. And we got to this hotel, ragtag group of kids from Brooklyn who never left Brooklyn. The hotel had an indoor pool. We didn't even know they made indoor pools back then, right? So after every game, we were like the underdogs or whipping teams. And then we go in the pool, right? We get to the finals to go to Williamsport. And the coach says, guys, no one's going in the pool today. And we're like, why? He's like, well, I don't want anyone getting hurt before tomorrow. I don't want anyone getting sore. You guys are horsing around. No pool before the final game tomorrow. And we got so tight at that moment, and all of a sudden it was like, whoa, this must be really important if we can't go in the pool. And we got shelled 16-1 in the final.
Again, who'd you play?
It was a team out of Connecticut. Connecticut. None of them were big, but these kids hit line drives back up the middle. Every batter hit a bullet back up the middle. I felt bad for our center fielder. But I never forgot that my coach banned us from the pool, and we got so scared and nervous off of that.
I get it. And listen, I've probably in my youth coaching days overdone, you're so close, but you're no one can get hurt. Your arms are going to be sore from splashing, right? You're making up shit in your brain. But man, there's also an element with these young kids, like ignorance is bliss. Like,
Yep.
let them, you could swim in the pool before the rec league all-star game, or you could do it in going to Williamsport. Like, it's almost like the keeping it normal, keeping the routine, keeping everything the same. It feels like the pool was like your guys' juice, and then it got taken away and your kryptonite, and you guys, you lost your mojo. You got kids from Brooklyn. That's the moral of the story. We got to get kids in Brooklyn more in the pool, and
Exactly.
we'll be better at baseball.
What's up, guys? Do you want custom fan wear like this cricket shirt for Charlotte Christian School?
We've got premium apparel from your favorite brands.
The best part about it is I don't have to just wear it to Charlotte Christian's events. I can wear it to golf. I can wear it to lunch. It's turned into my uniform. Go right now over to youth.inc, sign up for our newsletter. It talks about our podcast for that week, our interview guests, all the breaking news across the landscape of youth sports, and you can win one piece of merch for your school by going to sign up today.
And remember, it's not .com, it's youth.inc. Now, back to our episode.
All I can think of is indoor pools is like you go in there and the chlorine is just
Oh,
so
yeah.
overwhelming. Your chest burns for 3 days.
Bloodshot eyes,
Bloodshot
can't
eyes,
see
you
straight.
can't see. But that's incredible, man. One game away.
Yeah,
from
I never
Williamsport.
forgot that. That's always stuck with me. And then for me, you know, once obviously DNA and genetics caught up, and I still played as much as I could till around sophomore year of high school, but I never dropped sports. It's such a big part of my life. And to land the plane, one of the biggest blessings of Entourage was how much it clicked with athletes for some reason, less with actors and more with athletes. And I've had some amazing encounters with athletes over the years who just related to Entourage in their own way. So in my own way, I got an inside look into professional sports and being a professional athlete.
That's awesome. Well, you talk about DNA. It's because Leinart took all of the DNA
In the world.
He got it all. 7
Dude.
feet tall, throws it a mile,
Lefty.
handsome. I mean, we can go down the list.
You're describing
Leinart.
yourself, Greg. You're describing yourself, dude.
I don't have a Heisman Trophy, but no, all seriousness, dude. Like you played in arguably the biggest, the most memorable, I don't know, whatever you want to classify it. That national title game, your career, Reggie, USC with Pete was like, you guys were like the 33rd NFL team, so to speak,
Yeah.
as far as popularity. Like, but I'd be curious, like, what are your best sport? Like, do you go back further than that, or like, because I know I go back to like high school playing with the boys,
Yeah.
like not Super Bowls, not. I'd be curious with everything you've done, how far do you go back?
Man, the best. Well, two things. The best football, the best experience is high school football. To me, there's nothing better than Friday night lights with your boys, right? I mean, my 3 best friends still to this day were my high school teammates, and they never played college. But we still talk all the time. My youth sports experience was predominantly baseball. I've told this story before. I was a pitcher. I was a big lefty. My dad played at LMU, played in the minors for a little bit. My brother played high school baseball. He was 5 years older than me. So I looked up to my brother, my dad, and that's what I played. I played flag football a little bit for my school, a little bit of basketball that I was decent at, but baseball was my ticket. And so you're talking about Williamsport. I'll never forget, man. One of my greatest memories is we played for Fountain Valley. We played Pony. At that point, Pony was a lot bigger than Little League for in our area in Orange County. And we were really good. Fountain Valley Youth Baseball. We went to the Pony World Series or the Bronco World Series like 3 years in a row from like 9 to 12 or something like that. And I'll never forget, dude, I was 11 years old and we played up in Monterey, California. And you had to win like your district, SoCal. Then we would go up to Pacific Grove, which was like the West Coast, which was us, Hawaii, those types of teams. And then it was the World Series. And in the World Series that year, it was Puerto Rico, Chinese Taipei, Seoul, Korea, and then all the national teams. And so we always had a little beef for like, oh, we're better than all the Little League Williamsport teams because we're pitching from further back. These were the Pony rules or whatever. And my story is this, dude. I was pitching and I was the young kid on the 12-year-old team. So I think I was 11 on the 12-year-old team. And this is when Greg, I was big and fat as shit, dude. I was so fat, but I was throwing heaters, dude. I had a little,
from 50 feet.
I was throwing gas. I had a very weak curveball and like a decent changeup, right? So I had enough mixed speeds. And we're in like the bottom of the 6 or something. It's how you can draw it up. Like they bring me in. We're up like 4-3, whatever it was. Couple runners on. They bring me in. I have to get this big old righty hitter out there, 4-hitter for Puerto Rico. And I'll never forget this. So I'm in there. I'm warming up. And all of a sudden, and these kids from Puerto Rico looked like they were 16, dude. And we were all 10. I swear to God.
They might have been.
Danny Almonte.
Oh, yeah,
Remember
for
Danny
sure.
Almonte?
Of course,
I
from
think
the Bronx.
He was New York, right?
Yeah, he's Bronx.
Yeah, there was 8 of those kids. And they start chanting, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico. And my brother, I'll never forget, my brother's like, USA. And, dude, I literally get goosebumps. And I'm up on the mound. And I always say this is part of, like, probably why I like playing quarterback, because, like, you just kind of, like, those pressure situations. And long story short, I'm like an 8-pitch at bat, and I finally strike him out, dude. I just threw a high heater, and we start celebrating, dude. It's probably one of the greater. I still remember to this day. It was such a great moment. And then, like, I tore my arm like 2 years later going into high school, and that's when I quit baseball and focused on football. So, everyone's path is super different. Mine is kind of crazy. Like, and I always say this just to end it. Like, I don't think I loved football like how I should have. If you know how it is, like, you got to really love the game at the highest level like that if you want to succeed. And obviously I played at the highest level and all those things, but like, I love baseball, man. That was like my thing. Like, still to this day, Dodgers, baseball, my kids, all that. So that's one of my core youth sports memories, dude.
I love it. It's funny because I think back on my high school. I played for my dad, like quintessential old school. I lived in North Jersey, Jerry, so not far from you.
Oh, no way.
Right outside of the tunnel, like down Route 3 in North Jersey. 20 minutes from the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
Only Jersey people still call it the Meadowlands, I guess. Everyone else calls it like MetLife.
It's not MetLife. It's always the Meadowlands.
It's the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
So I grew up, my dad was our football coach, hard-nosed, tough on us. All my brothers played football and whatnot. But like, I think back on like winning my high school state championship, coming off with your buddies and going to the Outback after the game.
Yeah.
And like, people always ask me, they're like, was it the Super Bowl, Pro Bowls, playing at Miami against Florida in the Orange Bowl, like some really cool moments. I'm like, there was nothing cooler, man, than on a Friday night playing with your buddies. The whole school was coming. The other team hated your guts, and you just went out there and beat the brakes off. I'm like, that was sports at its purest. And it didn't matter if it was football, basketball, whatever it was. Fast forward now, and a big reason why I like do this show and love having these conversations, because you get to reminisce with the boys about the good old days. But dude, this summer, I'm coaching my kids' 12U baseball team, and we go to Cooperstown, New York, which is like a rite of passage.
Oh, it's the best,
for boys. We're playing teams from Hawaii, California. It was super cool. So, dude, we're living in a barrack with 14 boys, me and 2 other coaches, old school barracks. We're eating Crustables, like Uncrustables for lunch. But, dude, we make a run, and we make it to the finals. There's like 100 and something teams. We make it to the finals. So I'm standing on the field. There's fireworks. They're singing the national anthem. I'm standing here. I'm like, I've been in a Super Bowl pregame. I've been in BCS bowl games back when that was a thing. I don't know if I've ever been more nervous. I was getting goosebumps. I'm looking around. I'm like, these 12-year-old kids, unfortunately for them, this is the best moment they'll ever have, and they have no idea.
True.
And, man, there's just something so pure and unique about the whole youth sports journey, and it's just cool to hear. For the most part, regardless of what levels you go to or where you grow up, everyone's experience is kind of the same.
How about, Greg, like you say that, and how many nights of sleep have you lost coaching? Because I know you coach your kids' football team and baseball. Like I've told Jerry this, like I've coached baseball, like the youth basketball, but the football for us, like I coached Cole in the flag football, which is, flag football is big. It's growing up, and it was super competitive as it got older. And my wife would always make fun of me because I'm watching film, like I'm like, because they would film our games, which is really cool in this league. I'm drawing up plays. And we went to the Super Bowl like 6-7 years in a row. We won most of them, but like I lost probably 3 weeks of my life. Just because of the stress. I couldn't sleep the night. But she's like, they're 12. I said, yeah, but you have no idea how important and how much this means to me and the team and all this stuff. So I'm right there with you, dude. Like I can only imagine, because my nephew's going to Cooperstown, I think this summer, because he'll be 12. And a lot of kids from Manhattan Beach went when Cole was 12. And I've heard nothing but just like,
oh, it's cool.
it's the experience, right? Like they'll never forget that experience. But yeah, it's dude, I've lost a lot of.
We just had our last middle school football game. I don't think I was a functioning member of my family for like a good 2 weeks. Like if I was home, I was in my office. I had papers scattered. I'm doodling, sketching. How are we going to stop this running back? What fronts can we present to give them trouble in the run game? Like it became obsessive. And my wife would be like, "Are you nuts?" And I'm like, "Do you want to lose? Do you want to lose?
Do we care about winning in this house?
I mean, everybody." But like, Jerry, and I'd be curious your take on this because like, you guys, on what I love about your show is you guys get like all different people, great stories, pop culture reactions. Like, you guys have had some pretty fun, pretty cool like youth sports on the really good side and on the oh my god, these people are nuts side. Like, what are your favorite kind of stories? Like, Jerry, like, do you love like watching like the dad lose his shit at the game, the coach yell? Like, what is your favorite one to come across where you look at it and you're like, these people are nuts?
I mean,
because I've been the nuts guy before, if I'm being honest.
So my kids right now currently are 6 and 4, and
so you're in it.
I'm in it in a different way.
They better pick their favorite sport by right now. They don't have time, man. They're falling behind.
And there's something I do want to discuss with you if we have a minute on this show, because
we have tons of time.
I do need a little advice on how to handle my older son. But so far to this point, it's been pretty chill, right? Because they're so young. But I have seen like, you could spot the kid that maybe is already a little advanced and already a little ahead of all the other kids at this age. And there was one kid who in coach pitch was just hitting like nukes, right? This kid was like Ohtani, just like how far is he going to hit it? And he leaves, and I heard the dad talking, and like they were going to another game, like a whole different league. I'm like, the kid's like 6 years old. And I was like, I finally cornered him. I'm like, well, how many teams is this kid a part of? And he's like a ringer already. This kid, like he plays up to 8 years old. He's a full-on professional 6-year-old baseball player. His service, I want to say he has an NIL deal already. And I was just blown away at like, also like, I remember when a kid was advanced at my age, it was like, oh, that's like your star player. This kid is like a star in the area already. Yeah. And I've never seen anything like that for us. I mean, we're talking about a 6-year-old, not 12 or 13, 6. And this kid he chews 12. The big league chew. He has a chain on. This kid's got it. And I was just blown away and very intimidated because that is not my boys at all.
Well, wait till you get to the part where they are 10 or 12. And that same type of kid, instead of just getting in the car and driving with dad cross town to go play in the other rec league, right. He's playing rec here and he's playing little league over here or whatever it is at that age. There's a time, and my kids are in the thick of it. I mean, we don't do it, but like our age group, I'm saying, that kid is going to play a game in California, and then he's going to fly to Louisiana. And he's going to play for a different team the next weekend. And then he's going to be at a big showcase event in Florida. And all these events, the really, really good kids, they don't really necessarily have a team. They have like a main team. And then when they're not playing,
they're not for sale, season. But yeah,
they're for sale. They're being flown in. They're being paid. Their bills are being paid. Their travel, their flight, their hotel, their food.
That's what I was going to ask you. Who covers all the travel and all the...
Those really big organizations, I know baseball better than I do the other sports because our kids have done more of it. But like in the baseball world, these teams are funded by individuals, companies, big conglomerate industries that have like charitable sidearm. Like the main national teams that are comprised of kids from all over the country, those teams are a couple $100,000 a year teams all in.
Wow.
Flights, hotels, stipends, food. Oh, yeah.
We saw that.
You haven't seen anything yet, dude. Wait, I'm telling you.
Wow, that's why I'll save my question for after Matt.
Well, your mind is going to be blown.
Well, because the baseball thing again, I'm a little different because Cole played baseball, but he didn't love baseball. So we were more the club hoops, which is out of his mind. And I know baseball a little bit more now because my brother Greg, his son, it might be the same age as your boys, or he's 10 or 11, so he's going to Cooperstown. He's a stud catcher. Like they're all in on club or travel baseball every week. Just so you said, it's wild. The club hoops thing, I remember when Cole was like 5th or 6th grade, and we're playing in some of these Orange County tournaments that are pretty big, a lot of the West Coast teams. And a lot of the kids now that are going to college were like, we saw Cole play, and like they're some of the top players in the country. It's pretty cool. There was a kid, I forget his name. He played in one day in a pretty big tournament on 3 different teams in the same tournament. And it was like, we just played him. He literally took his jersey off, and like an hour later had another jersey on playing for another team in the same tournament. I was like,
how does that even happen?
How does it happen? And to Grace's point, it's like, well, one, a lot of these programs want some of these kids to play from, like, in basketball, it's a lot of the names are like players. Like, so Russell Westbrook has Team Why Not? Paul Pierce has the Truth out here, which Cole played for Paul Pierce's team. There's Chris Paul has a team. Actually, He's
big by us. He's
big by you.
So, Carolina, CP3, yeah.
CP3. So they've come out to the West Coast and played. So like a lot of these, obviously, NBA players have their names attached to their programs. But, to Greg's point, like it is like they're just feasting on these kids, trying to get them to play for their program. The club basketball was wild for me. That opened my eyes to be like, holy crap, dude! Like this is, and then just like it's a little different than. It's probably more similar to baseball, but like football is a little different because football is more the 7-on-7 circuit and all that, at least for like the club part. But like, and then you're right on top of the court. So I saw. Dude, one time I saw Matt Barnes, who I've become good buddies with because his boys were on the same, they're like a year younger than Cole, but they were on the same kind of circuit. Like almost fought like Isaiah Ryder, who had a team, like all these.
Isaiah Ryder, nice name.
Isaiah Ryder had a team out of Arizona. Anyway, it's just like, it's crazy, dude. And yeah, I mean, you're in it now, Greg. I'm going to be in it again here in about 5 or 6 years with my 2 little guys. It's wild.
Yeah. Jerry, I want to hear what your where your concerns lie.
Well, here's where I'm at with my 6-year-old, who all sports have kind of exploded for him in terms of interest, but basketball and maybe because I'm a psycho Knicks fan, in case you haven't figured that out, like it's a different, like I still love the Giants and football is still king, but like for me, because the torment that the Knicks have given me for 46 years almost is enough to make me want to cry. So he's kind of followed me. I took him to a Knicks game. So basketball has exploded. He loves, like today, we're taping this. I don't know when it's going to air. Knicks play tonight. He went in his Karl Anthony Towns jersey. But he's a weird kid in the sense where, like, he's so smart about the players and the stats. Like, he'll talk to you about Yabusele, who's the Knicks' 9th guy that they signed for $2 million a year. He's not talking about Towns or Brunson. He's like, I think Yabusele really could take this team to the next level. So the question is, he has all this love and passion and knowledge at a young age. I'm 5'6", not a spoiler alert. The DNA and genetics not on my side, and they're showing so far. And I heard PMT on your show where he said, if my kids grow up and prove me wrong, great. And I'll say this to my son too. Jacob, if you grow up and you're playing somewhere, God bless you. You proved Dad wrong. Physically, the coordination's not there. He loves to play, but he's now getting to a point where he's getting put in some of these games in basketball, and some of the kids who aren't as knowledgeable just physically are at a whole other level. And I don't want to kill the spirit and the love that he has because it's infectious. Like, we go to sleep every night and we do 20 questions, and he asks me 20 basketball questions, random stuff like that. Why are the Nets so bad? And I get to fill him in. And I'm a little worried now is, like, they're asking me to coach him, and then it's like 2 practices a week in the game. Right now, he's not quite there, and I haven't bumped him up to that next level. I actually held him back a little bit because it's comfortable for him. And am I doing him a disservice by not throwing him into not the fire, but just, let him figure it out and mess up. But he's only 6, so that's where I'm at, Greg.
All right. Well, obviously, I don't have all the answers, but here's my initial. Just as my gut instinct to all that. Dude, he's 6. Just play.
Just play.
Be on the field. Continue to cultivate the love for the sport. Be out there. The nice thing about today's world in sports is the negative is there's a lot of decisions, right? There's 1,000 teams, 1,000 different levels. You can take it to 1,000,000 different degrees of competition. The nice thing is there is a level for everybody. Right? True. So, like, I don't think you need to throw him to the fire. I don't think at 6 years old you need to figure out, like, do you have that competitive spirit to be He's 6.
Right.
He should love it. He should go up. And if he goes on a team and they're okay, who cares? Right? Like if he continues to learn the skills, which you can help him with as a dad, you can help him with as a coach, or whoever else is coaching him. Like my biggest priorities for all of this, for my kids, especially as they're getting older, but when they were young, is the person they're around, if it wasn't me, is the person they're around teaching them the baseline skills of the sport. The level of greatness, the level of is going to vary. What he is at 6 is going to be different than 8. He's going to be different at 10. It's going to always be different, right? Like any moment in time, the best kid is no longer always going to be the best. And the kid that was at the bottom all of a sudden hits a growth spurt, or all of a sudden there's so many unpredictable variables. If he loves the sport, talks about the sport, lives the sport, play the sport, man. Play it all day, play it every day. If you have to adjust up, down, even, a bunch of his friends are going to play on some travel team at 8. That doesn't mean he has to.
Right.
Like,
Keep the passion.
Keep the passion. We have this phrase now that I've kind of like summarized all of this shit as we've done a million of these interviews and just lived through making bad mistakes as parents. It is not a race to 12 years old. No matter how many people want to tell you it's a race to 12. If you, by 6th grade, you got to have your sport. You got to know if you excel. You got to have 3 trainers because you got to go all in. Those people are full of shit. It is not. It is a race. By 18, 17, 18, we'll know what kids have a future and what kids high school is going to be. And guess what? For the vast majority of kids who high school was the end of their road, great.
You still talk
That's
about
the
it.
best memories anyway.
Yeah, both of you still talk about
It's
the high
the
school
best.
stuff. Yeah.
Some of my best buddies from high school were just on my basketball team or on my track team or on my football team. And that was the last time they ever played a competitive sport outside of like, intramurals in college or something. And who cares? Like whatever your destiny is, whatever your ceiling is, if you're a hard worker and a great kid who puts in the time, there's going to be varying degrees of God-given abilities. We're not all going to be 6'5", throwing 80 from the left side. Like my kids, like for as tall as I am, like my older son loves sports, super competitive, lefty. He's 14. He's not big. Now, he might be big. He hasn't hit puberty. He looks like a little boy compared to some of these men. But people walk out of the thing and they're like, where's your son? And they think he's going to be the 6'1", 14-year-old. He's not. But like, we tell him all the time, so what? Like, let's go compete, man. Just be as good as you can be. And if you love it, you'll find a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you worry? I'm curious, Greg, because you're so ingrained in this, and you kind of answered the question. But is there a point where you, like, at some point? Because I talk to my brother about this all the time, and my nephew's solely baseball. He plays some of the other stuff, but like it's like all in, and he loves it. And he's all in, catching drills and this and that. Like, at what point do you start, like, I wouldn't say specializing, because I think kids should play multiple sports as long as possible. And maybe it's 12, maybe it's 8, because I do think there is a level of competition now that's more so probably than we were younger because of all the access and all this stuff. Is there a point where you're like, maybe at this age you can start to specialize, or does it it probably varies from kid to kid, because I get asked that question all the time, and I have 5 and 4, and I'm already in my mind thinking like, gosh, my 4-year-old is so talented. I don't even know if he loves it. My 5.5-year-old would run through a wall. He's not all there upstairs. He's half coordinator, but the dude just he's a beast. He works harder than anybody. So like, you know what I mean? Like, is there a time when it's like you kind of have to start pushing a little more? Do you think?
So I think it's the $1 million question that's facing every parent in America. And I think there's a lot of parents right now in America that are making decisions that they don't even necessarily agree with. Like, they don't want to do it, but there is a reality for the vast majority of kids in just their baseline athletic makeup that if you don't at some point start putting especially in the baseball, the basketball, more of like the skill, the skill-oriented sports, if you don't start putting in that 12-month-a-year level, you're not going to play on the varsity baseball team or the varsity basketball team. You're not going to make that travel AAU team or volleyball or for any of these sports, because the reality is so many of the kids you're competing against, that's all they do. So like they might not be as good of an athlete as you, but if all I do is take BP all year and all I do is do infield work and you just grab your bat and your glove and you come onto the field after a full season of basketball, I'm probably going to be further ahead than you. And over time, you might pass me up. But in this moment in time, when coaches are so worried about just win this moment, it's not about what are you going to be in 3 years. My job's to win right now. I don't have time to project you out. They go, well, it's in my best interest to stop doing all these other things because they're almost looked at like they're impediments to being on the 6th grade team or on the 12-year-old team or whatever it is. My approach with our kids in our house is we are going to play as many different sports for as long as we can handle it. Right? And now we're entering, my older son is in 8th grade. We just did a whole summer of travel baseball and summer football. Did a full fall of tackle football while also trying to play fall baseball, which is very hard to do. But football was like our priority the last 3 months. He had 3 days off, and on Monday he walked into his school and tried out for the 8th grade basketball team. Today's gonna, so like next week they start games. That will go through January. February 1st, he's going to walk onto the baseball field and try out to make the middle school baseball team. As long as you can keep that going, at some point you can't, right? Like at some point, as much as we all love the glory of our glory days of going with our buddies from season to season, it's just not the reality anymore. I would love for my kids personally to get to high school. Could they get to sophomore, junior year and then say, you know what? I'm 16. I know how tall I'm going to be. I know how my skill sets align with whatever sport I play, and I'm going to go all in to try to have a great high school career. Probably. We're going to try to hold on as long as we can because I just believe so much in what each sport brings.
Absolutely.
Different groups of kid, different types of kid, different coaching styles, different skill sets, so I think the kids that you see that are the 3-sport Aaron Judges of the world, like, yeah, Aaron Judge could go for 1,000 yards at tight end and score 25 in basketball and then hit 40 home runs his senior year. But like, my kid's not Aaron Judge. I don't know about your kids. Like,
there's not many.
So like, I think so often we hear Patrick Mahomes and these, yeah, but we're talking about like the elite athletes of the world. They could walked into any sport and pretty much been athletic enough to just figure it out. Less and less kids fall into that category. So the parents are just saying, you know what, we're going to go all in on something. And just over time, we'll be good enough to at least have a good high school experience, if not more. That's kind of just the reality of the world we live in nowadays.
That's what I told my brother. I was like, because he's pretty hardcore with it. And he, in a good way, he's trying, but it's like, I said, what is like, my biggest thing is like, what is your goal for him? Like, what's your goal? He's like, dude, I wanted to be a starter on the varsity baseball team. That was it. I said, all right. So then like, just put everything you don't need to, like at 9 years old, he doesn't need to be playing 1,000 baseball games, like literally like every day and all that. And it's just like, it's just such a, like, it's such an interesting conversation about this. Cause like we're in a different era now. Like you said, it's so competitive. Yeah. You try and like, you don't want the burnout, right? Which is the big thing. You don't want the burnout. You want to keep the love and the passion, and every kid is different. So, like it's one of those things where I know in the next couple of years, I'm already having the conversation with my wife about 6U All-Star Baseball next summer. And this is for Pony.
And you're going to be the coach, and we're going to do this show 2 years from now, and you're going to be like, everything I said I wasn't going to be,
I am.
I'm him.
Oh, dude.
We're going to have Jerry on.
Thinking about it.
When Jerry's kid's 10 and he turns into a dude, we're gonna do a reunion here, and Jerry's gonna be like, guys, hand raised.
I was wrong.
I'm on the bench. I'm coaching. I called an extra film session because I didn't like the way we broke the press against the Warriors last week. Like, you watch. Every dad that I know that is early in their progress, so like, that's not gonna be me. I'm like, okay.
I see us maybe being like, I don't know if you guys remember the movie Little Giants. Rick Moranis' son was his analytics guy. Yeah. My son might be my analytics guy. When he's
coming up with like the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, like Moneyball for basketball.
Icebox.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If you had to put your eggs in one basket for the future of your kid, if your kid has that sort of brain and that mind to process and analytics,
does, yeah.
The opportunities in sports for a kid like that and the other 5 bazillion kids that all have dreams of playing in the NBA and just are living in la la land, like the opportunity in sports, especially for kids who love it, your long-term opportunities are a lot better having that sort of approach than they are just dreaming about dunking as a 5'10" white kid.
Yeah.
How'd you know I had that dream every single night for?
Well, we all did, right? Like
Jerry,
growing up, I thought.
Could you ever touch the rim, Jerry, in your day?
I was able to nip it at 5'6". I was able to like.
Jerry, were you the guy in warm-up lanes? Like you came out and you had like the snap-off pants,
Dude,
but you left
I
them
was
unbuttoned.
intense. I had a headband.
And you could remember a college layup where you could hit the backboard?
Clap it. The clap has got that's gone
By the
out
way,
of style, man. That
Greg,
used to
you're
be
talking-
Give me an idea. Give me Jerry, high school Jerry,
Okay.
basketball. You're in high school. You're a dude. Like, talk me through your warm-up, what your outfit is. Like, I could just see you headband, dude, like just competitive as
I
hell.
had a headband. I had a mouth before the Steph Curry days. I had a mouth guard. Now this is 1995. No one in basketball is wearing a mouth guard, and it was the colors of the Italian flag. I'm Italian, all right. Shaved head
Got
for
that.
sure. Probably back
Shaved
then I was
head.
playing in Jordan 5s, which are like a boot. It's like 40 pounds of shoes.
Where were
But
your
here,
socks?
I went high socks all the time.
High socks.
Kerry,
Yeah, I
Keith
literally
Van
have
Horn.
you in my brain. I
Keith
have
Van
you in my
Horn,
brain.
high socks, Michigan baggy shorts like Weber and the Fab Five. And then, but here's where I knew it was over for me. In like layup lines, our rival was this high school, Lincoln, right? Lincoln High School.
Yeah.
And they had a star player on their team who happened to be Stephon Marbury. And in the first quarter, when I saw him catch a full court alley-oop at 6'1" and pull it back behind his head and dunk it, I said, I need to figure out, maybe I'll be a pharmacist or something. What can I do when I get older?
I'm going to be
that's
an
not,
actor.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
somehow I came into acting. Like maybe I could pretend to be a basketball player. I played a golfer in the movie. That's the closest I came to like a sports movie. But I knew right there, I'm like, there's levels to the stuff, and I am not near that level. So Stephon Marbury ended my high school
Dude,
basketball
Lincoln
career.
High School is like famous. Is that where like is that Telfair?
Sebastian
and all
Telfair
that?
in Coney
Yeah.
Island, Brooklyn. They were so
Yeah.
famous they had to put their games at Madison Square Garden, and they were on ESPN. That's how famous those
Sebastian
Lincoln
Telfair
teams.
was like, he was the next coming, right? of
He's
that-
Marbury's
that
cousin.
era?
Yeah, he's
Marbury's
Marbury's
cousin, yeah.
younger cousin. Same school, same everything.
Yeah, growing up in North Jersey, New York and New Jersey, North Jersey basketball. I mean, even South Jersey, we had like, the kid that went to Camden, his son now is playing. Dwan Wagner.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wagner,
We had St. Anthony's with the Hurleys and
Yep.
St. Patrick's and then every year there was like the New York versus New Jersey All-Star game.
Jersey
It
was
like,
always so
Did you ever
well-coached,
play
man.
Bergen
Always
Catholic,
well-coached.
Greg? Did you play Bergen Catholic?
we didn't play them. I went to public school. They were in the private school league.
Were they?
But
Because
they
that's where
they're
Cushing
loaded.
went. So like
Yeah,
Brian Cushing went.
They're
to,
still
I think,
loaded.
Bergen
Don
Catholic.
Bosco. So like the football schools were like
Yeah.
Bergen and Bosco, but then the basketball schools, St. Patrick's, St. Anthony's, St. Benedict's, and then you had the New York schools, and oh man, it was New Jersey and New York basketball was real. Were you like the guy though that leading into the game, you're like talking all up your buddies, like we're gonna box them out?
I was
We're
the
gonna play
hype man.
great
I used to bring. It was
Oh,
my boom box I had to bring, and long before your Spotify playlist, right?
What was your
I
What was your
made
warm up
the-
song? What was your song?
God, I'll go back to.
I remember ours in high school.
Dude, 95, Tupac, Biggie. That was
I
like.
think
that
it was like it was Biggie for sure because we were Brooklyn kids.
Yeah,
so
of course.
There was definitely
Like where
I think-
Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn
Yeah, I
at?
think like
that
Kicking
had
the
to be it.
Door
How
was
if
one.
it wasn't, that's a mistake.
By the way, Greg, you're giving me the best visual of Jerry walking into a high school.
I'll send you
basketball-
pictures.
I-
I'll send
Yeah.
pictures.
I literally can picture you, and everything you're saying is like in my brain. I'm like, I know exactly who you were, and you would have been my best friend.
By the way, this guy is like the celebrity basketball all-star MVP back in the day
Oh,
every year.
he's-
Yeah,
because I'm the only one that takes it seriously. I have a beach ball MVP and a celebrity basketball game MVP because I'm the only one who tries. And like I actually get mad at guys who like actors who come in there and like either don't try or never played before. I'm like, why
That's
are you
amazing.
here? Go
That's
home.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys a serious question, and this is one of my favorite things to ask the guys that we have on, guys and girls that we have on. But like we talk so much about like if the idea of youth sports was to create professionals, we should just disband the industry because it's broken, right? Like that's if that's your goal, then you should just stop because the odds are not in your favor. Jerry, I'm gonna start with you. Like, what's something you take from like all the fun, the cool story, you know, the jokes and the fun, but like what's something you reflect back on now with all you've accomplished in a way different industry than sports that you look back on and you're like, I'm not sure if I would have done it without this lesson, without this moment? Like, what about that youth sports experience, besides the wins, the losses, the fun, but like really made an impact that you carried forward and paid off in a whole different light than in your early sports days?
It's a great question, and it's something I think about, like, how do I get that for my kids? Because it really did help me. Was, again, not always being the all-star, but I knew at a young age, like, okay, you know what? I'm a great on-ball defender. I'm like Dellavedova. I'll hound you 90 feet. I'm going to be the best at that one thing, like understanding your role, right? And then when acting comes into my life later, again, like not being the tall, handsome leading man. I'm not starring in rom-coms, but I have this relatability. So, you know what? I'm going to be the best I could be at like the thing that I know I can do. And it really was transferring all that stuff from youth sports and also really helped me with losing, to be honest. Like acting is like worse odds than baseball. Forget it if you bat 300 with acting, you're like Marlon Brando. You're lucky if you get 2% of the parts you try out for. So understanding and like knowing like, yes, it's competitive and you got to have that dog in you, but also knowing like the rejection is just part of the journey. You got to keep going. You can't let the loss or not getting the part be the thing that you wallow in, because then when that next one comes along, you're not going to be ready. So I took so much from all of it, and that's the stuff I really hope for my kids, in addition to all the friendships and, to be honest, all the parts I've gotten in the last 10 years have been because I play pickup basketball and golf, right? So it's led to like a whole social business part of my career that's been great, and now the show with Matt. But for me, it was like how to handle winning and losing, and also understanding, hey, you're a role player on this team, because that's how acting sets are. There's roles. There's different. They function very much like a professional sports franchise, like big TV sets, like Entourage, right? Yeah.
But take that analogy of sport and apply it obviously to the show. We all could name every episode and every line, but like break down that role, those dynamics. I think people would be fascinated to hear, like, on the set, how that all played out.
Well, let's just say one actor out of the main 5 had a little lateness problem for a long period of time, right? Now, we're not, like, late in the way, like, oh, we're going to miss kickoff, but if you're an hour late on the set, that's thousands and thousands of dollars, right? And you have hundreds of people who are standing around waiting for you to do their job so they can get home to their family. So that's one way where it's like, well, who's going to be the one that we had to have a players only meeting, essentially. We had to have an actors only meeting where we were like, yo, this got to stop. Like, it can't happen anymore. You're going to mess this all up, and you're screwing with a lot of other people who do a lot of work that you don't see. And that's not cool. So we had an actors-only meeting in a trailer, like it was a locker room. And I was all excited for it. I couldn't wait to lead that meeting. I live for that stuff. So
and how'd it go? Did it fix the problem?
It absolutely fixed the problem, 100%. And, you know, every year we have a big rap party. Like, that's kind of like our version of, you know, the season's ending, you have your exit meetings. And
like an exit meeting. He's got all the line. This guy played the league.
Dude, it functions very much, to me, I saw it as a sports franchise.
It's awesome. Matt, I'm going to pose the same question to you. And obviously, different, you know, you stayed in the sports path, but like, what about your journey was shaped by like one critical moment or one critical lesson early on?
Yeah, there was the word adversity that we obviously throw around a lot, like the cliche in sports. You got to go through adversity, it makes you better on that thing, but it's true. And I was thinking about this, and that moment, which I'll talk about in a second, led to me to being a parent to my oldest and how he was going to handle it. It was such a teaching moment for me to him a couple of years ago. I remember when I tore my arm playing baseball. They told me I had the arm of like a 50-year-old pitcher at 15, overuse, whatever it was. And I was just getting into football that time, and my doctor said, you'll probably never be able to throw again. As you can imagine, having boys getting to that age, my life was over. It was devastating. So this adversity hit me at such a young age. And then I was kind of rehabbing, kind of getting back. And I remember my dad was like, hey, you can be depressed and you can quit all these sports, or you can attack this rehab. You can get better and get stronger, and we'll see where, my dad was great. You'll see where you end up, right? And I was like, all right, let me do that, right? So I was kind of faced with this big thing at a young age that I didn't fully comprehend at the time. Fast forward a couple years later, I'm now learning quarterback, right? And I'm this big, long, gangly kid, but I could throw. My arm was feeling better, and I had a quarterback coach, I won't name his name, tell me that I was terrible and I'll never make it as a quarterback, that I should quit. And this was the summer before my junior year in high school. So this was like 2 years before USC. And I remember that, and it gets me fired up to this. And I said, you know what? F you, man. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. And it was just dealing with the strength and getting back from the rehab. It was all this thing. So you fast forward, and obviously was able to play football. So that was a moment that I'll never forget. People telling me I couldn't do something, struggling with injuries, all these things. So 2 instances with Cole, and I'll try to make it quick. 6th grade, Arizona, travel ball, basketball. He's on a team. One of the kids is Koa Pete. He's like the #1 player in the country, and I think he's going to Kansas or Duke or whatever. Actually, his brother's the lineman for the Saints. Pete, probably know his last name.
Andres Pete?
And yeah, Andres Pete's his big brother.
Pete.
So Koa is this kid, Andres Pete. So he goes on this team, and Cole's pretty good. He's not starting though. He's on the bench, and he's just, he's pissed, right? He's kind of, I can see it, his body language, and that's the stuff. I'm like, the effort and all that, the attitude. And I'll never forget. We're driving back to the airport, and I said, buddy, it's not you're not always going to be the best player on the team. You're going to have these challenges, but the body language, the effort, this is a moment where it can push you this way, and you could grind, and you can be better, and you can show that coach hey, I should be playing, or you can quit, dude, and you can be that kid. I gave him that. He's like, no. Fast forward, the same tournament, we make a run in the finals. He had 30 points in the finals off the bench. I have the video. I'll send you the video. I made a little highlight. It was 18 seconds. He's playing Bull's nephew. This team is ridiculous. And I never forget the moment coming off and hugging him. I said, you see that conversation we had a couple weeks ago, dude? That's who you can be. The second story, real quick, was freshman at Mater Dei High School. And Cole, this is 3 years ago. And Mater Dei's premier powerhouse in high school football. And the best of the best go there from here. And he's competing with the kid on the freshman football team. Now, he's the backup on varsity as well, but he's competing with this kid. And he was rotating, and he was pissed. He's like, I'm better than these kids. And he might have been, but the coach was playing both of them, and he was having good games, and he was getting pissed. He was like, why am I even here? I don't want to do this. And I said, dude, if you don't handle this, we're never going to know how good you are in this. You can't run from this stuff. And sure enough, I said, dude, just go be great. Go prove them that you need to play. Go be great. And he actually kind of got into it with one of the coaches, which I actually kind of liked at the time. I was like, good, it shows that you care and a little bit of passion. I think this kid threw 5 touchdown passes the next week. They beat St. John Bosco's freshman team, which a lot of those kids everyone's all going off to D1 schools now. And it was a full circle moment for me as a dad, right? I dealt with it. I dealt with giving up at a point. I dealt with adversity. I dealt with injuries. I dealt with all these things. It's but it made me so much stronger, and it allowed me to give those 2 teaching points to my oldest, which is something that, and again, still into this day, life is hard. You're still going through all these things. You're still trying to teach them these moments, and being a dad, as a coach, to all that. So those are the moments, man, that I'm proud of, that affected me, that still affected, that I've been able to kind of pass along to my oldest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, those are the stories that everyone needs to hear, because regardless of what your journey is in sports, man, cherish these moments with your kids, cherish these moments as a kid, because for the vast majority, maybe all of them, it doesn't ever get any better than playing sports with your buddies as a kid. Matt, Jerry, I can't thank you guys enough, man. What you guys do at Throwback, you guys are awesome. I love watching your shows. You guys are funny as hell. I'm looking forward to being a guest with you guys.
Yeah, we did a little home and home.
We're gonna do a little home and home.
Like
so now we're gonna flip it, and now we don't have to talk about youth sports. We can talk about anything you guys want to. But just appreciate you guys coming on here,
appreciate
man.
you, man.
Sharing stories as dads, sharing stories as just regular guys, man. Sharing your unique journeys is super, super helpful for our audience. I really appreciate you guys taking a few minutes to joining us on You Think, and look forward to being on Throwbacks.
Thank you for bridging the gap, dude, between
this is important.
like the youth parents and all that with someone who played at the highest level. Honestly, what you like the message that you're sending and the coaching and the parenting is awesome, dude. There's not a lot of guys doing that, man. So
And let your kids go in the indoor pool, coaches. Let them go in the indoor pool.
If there's one thing we got, that's it.
that
Appreciate you
is
guys.
Jerry and his boombox in Brooklyn in 1995.
I want to go back in time. I need to see it.
Thanks so much for listening. If you want more, make sure to subscribe. As always, check out more on youth.inc or across our social platforms.